and I'm just willing to put in whatever I have to put in to make it work to the level that I want it to work.
Yes. So it's interesting because even though it was a scary time, I personally wasn't, I didn't have a major fear. I was more excited than anything else. I had a very strong sense of peace. My husband, on the other hand, uh, was terrified and he was saying things like, our lives are ruined. He was
Oh
just
no.
really, really concerned. I was the only income earner in our house. We had made the decision that he would stop working when our children were born. And so it had been about 10 years and he hadn't worked. And so for me to be the sole income for our family at the time, and then for me to be suddenly starting a new business with no plan or money or clients in place, he was really, really concerned. But for me, I was very excited because it was a lifelong dream for me to have a business. And I never would have had the courage to do it, I don't think, if things didn't just kind of work out the way they did. And so I was excited to see where it would go. And I had a lot of confidence. I did feel like I knew how to be a lawyer. I
Yeah.
I knew I was a good lawyer. At my old firm, I was a partner. I oversaw over a dozen lawyers. Um I oversaw multiple departments. They wouldn't have done all of those things, allowed me to try cases, first chair. Like they wouldn't have done those things if I wasn't a good lawyer. So I had a confidence in my legal skills. I
Right.
just needed to learn to be a business person. And I I believed I could do that. I believed there was resources out there and that I could uh do the steps and do the social media and do the things that needed to be done and uh, and and grow my business base. I also did some math that figured out that to make ends meet, because I started my business out of my home, kept my overhead as low as I could. I really only needed to settle 5 cases a month in the beginning. And I thought that seems manageable. If I could bring in 5 cases a month, settle five from the prior month or whatever, just keep it rolling, then I'm bringing in 5 cases and 10 cases a month. It seemed manageable to me. It didn't seem like the hundreds of cases now that I would need to bring in to make ends meet. So um, it just I just kind of broke it down into bite sizes, made an action plan on things that I could do and I could afford, and knew that I would not give up under
Hmm.
any circumstances. And those three components really carried me through and allowed me to have peace through the time.
That's amazing. Okay, so when you first started out, after taking the advice to join the Rotary, I assume, were you your own social media manager and website designer for in the beginning?
So, no, but my brother was.
Oh, okay. You had an in.
Yeah, it turns out I actually have a pretty talented family. I a lot of my mom worked with me. She was my first employee. She was my office manager. I have two cousins who currently work with me, an aunt who works with me. There's a lot of family who works with me. But my brother is a multi-talented creative. He is an artist. He is a musician. He can really figure out how to do most anything. So he took photos of me and created my first website. And he also put together some social media posts. So I would post some things. We were really sporadic in the beginning with our posts because my brother was all about quality. So he would want to personally draw this amazing artwork to go with our little blurb. And and you just can't do that every day. So we'd get like one really awesome post up, and then it'd be 3 months before we had another one. But um, that's how you start. you just start doing it. And then I would, if I was somewhere, I'd take a picture of myself somewhere and make a post. And it was, the social media was kind of sporadic in the beginning, but we got the website up pretty quickly with the help of my brother, and just started trial and error really. And so some of the social media I did, the some of the posts and stuff I would do myself, but any of the really artistic stuff my brother would do.
That is awesome. And how fortunate are you?
And my brother now edits my podcast. So,
Does he?
yeah.
Wow, you do have a multi-talented brother. That's amazing.
Yeah.
My brother is also multi-talented, but unfortunately not in those types of areas. So. Okay, so before we get to, because I really want to talk about the blog and the podcast too. Um, but for anybody who's leaving a corporate job with a law firm, with a business, whatever, and going into entrepreneurship, what would you say would be your like top three tips in doing that?
Okay. So when you're just starting out in any business, networking is going to be your best source of referrals. And even now, I've taken a look at this, and my best cases still come from referrals from people I know. And there are months where I get dozens of calls from people from Google, and only one